Welcome back. We're joined now by a good friend, author of Profiles in Corruption, president of the Government Accountability Institute, and indefatigable swamp investigator, Peter Schweizer. Peter, I've been saying that Mitch McConnell represents everything that's wrong and broken with politics and government. You've really looked into this. Tell us more.
Yeah, I mean, really, it goes to the fact that Mitch McConnell and Elaine Chao, his wife, are financially tied to the Chinese government. And it comes through the shipbuilding company that Elaine Chao's family owns. That relationship was forged in December of 1993 when James Chao, Elaine Chao's father, Elaine Chao, and the new son-in-law, Senator Mitch McConnell, visited Beijing, China at the invitation of the China State Shipbuilding Corporation. This was a coup to Beijing because Tiananmen Square had happened just 4 years earlier. Very few high officials went there. The result of that meeting and the deals that followed is that today the Chinese government finances the construction of the ships for the shipbuilding company. They build the ships, they provide the crews for the ship, and they provide the cargo for the ship. So the Chinese government could pull the plug tomorrow on this business. And the reason they're doing business with them, let's make it clear, is because Mitch McConnell is a very powerful figure in Washington, D.C. And the problem is, Steve, that his position on China has softened over the years the closer that this commercial relationship has become. And he's a direct beneficiary of what this business does.
And the thing that's so interesting as you're talking is, it's just uncanny, isn't it? We're hearing all this sort of chatter, excited chatter in the establishment media about, well, you know, Joe Biden, he's going to get along well with Mitch McConnell and they're going to be able to do it. No wonder they're going to get along well. They're both up to their necks in Chinese corruption.
Yeah, that's right. And this is by Chinese design, by the way. This is their strategy. They've done it in Australia, in New Zealand, in Singapore. They seek out political elites and they give them commercial deals. What I would say is that in the Biden case, there is no legitimate business. I mean, the Bidens bring nothing to the table, no expertise, no background. At least in the McConnell-Chao case, you could argue there's actually a shipbuilding company to begin with. But you're absolutely right. They are wedded to the Chinese. They don't want to anger the Chinese because it could destroy their families financially.
And then the last point I'd make is that it's often said about Mitch McConnell that the only thing he really cares about is protecting money in politics, because that's what gives him real power. What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, well, I think it's true. I mean, there are a lot of requirements on members of Congress and the House to raise a lot of money. There's a lot of money going into super PACs. I believe in freedom of speech and that individuals have a right to do it. But there's no question that a lot of the fundraising that takes place in Washington, D.C. is a sort of extortion model. You've got to pony up money to the leadership in the House and in the Senate. If you don't get a seat at the table. So a lot of companies give out of compulsion, not because they're necessarily enthusiastic, and Mitch McConnell is part of that system, no question about it.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I mean, it's all got to change. And I hope it can be the Republican Party that fights for that change. Peter, great to see you this evening. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Great to see you, Steve. Thanks.